Moving on, Nigeria's candidate for the International Court of Justice, Olufemi Elias, says he is the most qualified for the seat. Speaking to newsmen in New York, Elias highlighted his extensive international legal experience as a distinguishing factor among the candidates. The ICJ, a principal organ of the United Nations, was established in 1945 to settle disputes between states under international law. The upcoming election will fill the seat left vacant by Judge Abdulquik Yusuf, whose term ends in February 2027. Elias currently serves as judge ad hoc at the ICJ and is a full member of the Institute d'Ordre International. He has also held top legal roles in international organizations, including UN Assistant Secretary General, legal advisor at the Organization for Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, and leadership position in OPEC-related tribunal and Islamic Development Bank. You're watching the Media News and Voice of the People television. It's time for the Media News analysis. And with us in the studio to help analyze the stories that made it to the bulletin thus far is Barrister Darlington Agumo, who happens to be here in the studio in capacity of a public and political affairs commentator. Good afternoon, Barrister Darlington Agumo.
Good afternoon, Finan. How are you?
I'm good. Good to have you join today's Media News.
My pleasure.
Well, let's start off with the vacant seats that we know we have within the United Nations, the ICJ election that is upcoming, and the fact that we have the Nigerian candidate there. I'm talking about Olufemi Elias, who come up to say that he's the most qualified for that particular seat, highlighting the role he has actually played within the international organization. What do you make of this, and how do you think this particular position is going to impact Nigeria in any way if Elias manages to become the new ICJ chairman?
Yes, it's a good thing because our experience the last time when Buhari was in office was not too good. When a vacancy came out, we were supposed to take over, occupy that seat. I don't know whether it's ICC or ICJ. I think one of them. The man at Abuja division was, appointed by Buhari to go there with 9 slots that belongs to Nigeria. When he got there, the 3 tests they set for him, he failed all of them. I mean, a man heading Abuja division. I think I've forgotten that name. I don't know why I keep forgetting the name. He failed all of them, and because of religion and tribe. A man who went there to disgrace Nigeria. The 9 people, including him, were sent packing. They came back. So this time around, I can see a square peg in a square hole. Yes, Elias is not a small boy in this matter. He is well grounded in law, especially international law. He will make us proud. So I pray that Tinubu will make sure it happens because of his pedigree and all that. He has a nice credential to occupy that position. This was a position that people like Bola Jibola, Teslim Elias, and the rest made their mark. And they made Nigeria proud. So they should not toy with that position again. They should not base it on tribe and religion. Let the best go there for the image of the country.
Now, when you say let the best go there, we know that picking someone who will be, the next, or rather, yes, the next chief of the International Court of Justice at this point in time, apart from a personal review and every other thing, some actually have come up to say that contribution from the country of origin where this person actually come up actually will play also as a vital role. I'm talking about part of the things needed for the selection of the next candidate. And with the qualification or the index or the position Nigeria occupies, in some of the international index, or will I say poll that have actually come up, do you think that that in any way is going to deter Mr. Elias Olufemi from becoming
out there, what they are looking is for the best. You know, the international community, they don't have time for your tribe and religion.
For a country that does not really come up well, I'm talking about what we have, the position that we occupy now when it gets to the respect for rule of law and even human rights and all that. Do you think that that might actually play against us at this point, clinching or taking that position?
No, as long as the man have not dented his image in Nigeria, I think he's mostly, in fact, is the legal, this thing has been abroad. He has been a member of that body.
Yes, he has.
So they know him for what he is, not what the country is. That's the truth. They don't have time for all these sentiments. They are looking at your contribution to that body, what you have done, your pedigree, your antecedents. These are the things they are looking for, not your country.
So when we have the likes of Elias become the judge or the chief of the ICJ at this point in time, do you also think that, because we're looking at United Nations as a body after the war, and then the establishment of this particular organization in 1945 and all that, Africans are actually clamoring for them to be part of the Security Council. They made mention of that when they went for the UNGA, the United Nations General Assembly meeting and all that. Do you think that this is more like paving more ways for Africa to be recognized, to be part of that too? If and only if we clinch or we get this one, are we going to see a champion or a more elaborate talk on Africa getting representative within the Security Council?
The ICJ is a professional body.
Yes, it is.
They don't dabble into your politics. They don't. They don't take part in what is going on in your country, except where there is need. Maybe your country or any other country are having border boundary issues and all that. So they don't have time. When it comes to killings or human rights abuses and all, the ICC is there. So the ICJ is cut out. Their job is cut out. It's purely legal. They don't have time for your political shenanigans. That's why most times you don't even hear what they are doing and all that. It's purely a country against another country. You don't see them dabbling into it. Like this genocide issue. The ICJ cannot come in. They can't. It's not their forte. It's within your country to do that. Their job is between a country and another country. Yeah, that's all.
All right. I was asking the question actually because if, for example, we have Africans doing well, in every other arm of the United Nations, then why is it that they are not included when it gets to the Security Council? Why is it that they are not
look at what you call it, Security Council. Have you secured yourself? Oh,
so you think this time around the big bloc, we call them the power bloc at this time, they still hold the power and the might actually to do that?
I mean, when you are looking at Security Council, it's not for the Boy Scout though. It's a serious issue. Can you be able to muster the resources needed to secure the world? Do you have what it takes? How can you be a member of the Security Council when you are borrowing money up and down, when you are not even independent in military hardware? All your arms and ammunition were supplied by one of the superpowers.
So you're saying that the statement made by Ramaphosa and even the vice president at this point in time when they went for the UNGA 30, it's more like them trying to overreach themselves or trying to position themselves.
They can make noise, though. The noise they are making they cannot give them a position in the Security Council. Because,
interesting.
Yes, because look at it. You are looking for Security Council, yet you have not secured yourself.
Right. Thank you very much, Barrister.
Mention any of the superpowers in the Security Council that terrorists are disturbing them every day.
Interesting. But some will still say that they are the ones who actually wear the shoes of insecurity and they know where it pinches them. So they will be able to be the one, if being given the opportunity to be there, to be able to, because they know the terrain and they can easily push out or pull out.
There is no explanation, no excuse. If you cannot secure your country, don't talk of Security Council.
Thank you so much.
You will never be a member. Never.
All right, let's move slightly away from that to another story where we learned that the committee, the House Committee, in charge of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, yes, And now they are so famous. They're now talking tough regarding the 210 trillion naira that cannot be accounted for. And this money we learned were spent between 2017 to 2023. Senator Ali Wadada, who happens to be the chairman of that committee, said that the officials of the Nnpcl must come to explain to them in person what happened. But guess what we saw? We saw that they answered to the 19 queries, and they weren't there in person. They just sent the answer to the queries back to the House, which the House have called an evasive move. At this point, Barrister Darlington, with a threat coming up from that they are going to, not being able to recognize any other representation from Nnpcl at this point in time, and they must provide the 210 trillion. What do you make of that?
Leave that thing. They are wasting their time. That money will never come out.
210 trillion naira is not going to come out.
That money is gone. Forget it.
Barrister, do you know that money actually happens to be, it's higher than the whole debt Nigeria is owing, and they're saying
more
it's not going to come in. It's more than.
If we have that money now, naira be $1 to $1.
How can we not account for 210 trillion? And this accumulated from 2017 to 2023.
Since APC came into office, thank God they are the one revealing all these things. Thank God they are the one. Imagine the amount of money that have gone down the drain in Nigeria. I was thinking they will call on the Minister of Petroleum to come and explain. As long as they did not do that, and they are not holding anybody accountable, forget it, that money. All this one, they are blowing hot air. Nobody will be held accountable. Nothing. Forget it.
When you say calling on the Minister of Petroleum,
yes.
If you check the time that we're looking at this point in time, from 2017 to 2023, we have the led president. So are we going to, how are we going to go on?
Those people are very clever. They are very clever. That's why I told you that they are being clever by half. The last time I heard of this issue, they said since 10 years ago. That means 2015 to 2023, or 2025. That was 10 years ago. You want me to believe that since 2 years plus now, there is no financial infractions in any Nnpc? Is that what you want me to believe here? They deliberately avoided this present administration. Deliberately, yes.
So when you're calling on the Minister of Petroleum, what happened then to the group national, or the group GMD of the company we're looking at, Nnpcl, at this point in time? Why is it that they have not really gone there in person to represent themselves and answer to the question? Why send a hard copy or a soft copy of questions or queries, respond to the queries back to the committee? No
matter what you answer in a query, in a matter like this, oral and verbal discussions are very important, because there are questions members of that committee would want to ask you. All of them cannot write in that query. They can't. But when you come physically, question will be thrown to you from all the members. And from there, we will now know, what we are looking. We will now discover where the money went to or what we are looking for. Those queries cannot just be answered by written paper. They need to come and explain. And I was thinking the National Assembly will extend their invitation to the Minister of Petroleum, either past or present. They should come and explain that money is not 2 naira or 3 naira. It's not, in the history of this country, we have never lost such an amount of money. We have never. And yet that money is somewhere in somebody's account, and we are looking for money. They are taxing the hell out of us. Imagine if that money is brought out now. You just imagine what will happen to the economy of this country. Just imagine. This is why other countries are moving forward and we are not. With that kind of money, in fact, this nonsense about subsidy will be gone. Nobody will talk of removing subsidy, because you do that money to cushion whatever effect. And like I've always told you, nobody is paying any subsidy. There's nobody removing any subsidy. That money is being paid through the back door. That's the truth. Unfortunately, no accountability. We don't even know how much you are paying. Up to today, nobody can say, this is exactly the amount of fuel we consume in a day.
Barrister, why is it that we don't have, why I'm asking this question is, if you go to Saudi Arabia, the Saudi Aramco actually were able to bring out something. from the oil that they have, to the point that they subsidize basically everything.
Everything.
And in Nigeria, in other hands, also happened, and we're looking at countries that happen to be part of OPEC and how they are benefiting and enjoying the largesse coming from the oil producing economy that they actually practice. Then why is it that when it comes to Nigeria at this point, we can't even say that this is one thing we're benefiting? Why is that oil sector, the petroleum sector, always having lots and lots of issues without proper clarification? Why is the activity most of the time shrouded in secrecy?
The question now is, why is it that all the presidents always wanted to be Minister of Petroleum? Why? They cannot be Minister of Agriculture. They cannot be Minister of Education. It's always Minister of Petroleum, all of them. And they are not even accountable. You can see now. You cannot call them to account as an accounting officer in that ministry. So why are they there? Under your watch, such an amount of money is missing, and nobody sees it as anything. They deliberately said it is up to 2023. Let them come and tell me that this present administration have not committed any financial infraction in that ministry. Let them come and tell me. They avoided including this other 2023 to 2025. Why? So that will tell you that these things are deliberate. If you are missing such an amount of money, Fina, how can your country grow? It's
painful, Barrister. You know what? It hurts me because I can recall earlier when our debt ratio turned out to be a certain amount of money, and then, after proper calculation with the number of persons who believe we have in Nigeria, it was interesting to know that each household, you're owing 500 and 1,000 and some 19, fraction added to it as a debt you and I had to pay. But now, from what we saw on the cover page of the National Daily, if we're to go on with the recent approved money from the National Assembly that we're to borrow, our debt will rise to 194 trillion naira. And we are looking, we cannot account for 210 trillion naira. That is a humongous amount.
And all of us are just going about as if nothing happened.
Do you think that Nigeria is having figure problem? Are we having figure problem at this point?
Oh, no, it's only Okpobolo that is having that problem, not Nigeria.
All right, Boris, so let's look at another story where we learned that from 1st of January 2026, the federal government will start implementing with full force the ban on all the products. I'm talking about alcoholic products at this point in time that is below 200 milliliters, both in sachet or in PET bottles. I think it was in 2024, 2023 thereabouts that they decided to rule out this particular act, saying that it is going to help reduce the accessibility of alcohol in Nigeria, as what we saw, let's say youth and every other person or most other persons on the street actually lay their hands on those PET bottles because it is easily accessible and it's cheap. What do you have to say about this?
I don't think they have solved the problem. If they are trying to solve that particular problem, no. These people can devise another means of doing it. Which is doing it through the back door.
But NAFDAC told us today through their GD that they are going to have 1,000 more recruited members join the force to make sure that they will be able to implement this crackdown on the ban. I'm talking about the sachet.
People that patronize them, they know themselves. People cannot be hiding and selling it.
But don't you think that if we're to go for the companies producing them, if we're to go, because most of those products, they have a name, they have a tag, you understand? So if we're to go for the companies producing them, that it would deter them at this point from producing such content, being accessible, reachable to people.
Well, it cannot be stamped out completely. The fake ones will surface. It's just that they won't have NAFDAC approval. But those who are addicted to this particular brand of alcohol, my dear, they will have no choice, because some of them, except they take this in the morning, especially at the motor parks, business has not started. Business has not started. This thing, according to them, it warms them up. It makes them to be active and agile. It makes them to walk. This is their own belief. So how do you deny them this ingredients that make them to work.
But we're trying to, numbers I say they are addicted to it, and we know that addiction is not really a good thing. And then when you check also on the health part of it, you found out that they are actually taking their health. They are killing themselves gradually without knowing it. So with us weeding it out in the society, don't you think that will actually be beneficial to them? Some also have raised concern about how it's going to throw people off, you know, especially those who think they are making money from it. It's going to relieve them of their duty and all that. And, you know, but we're looking at a way to make sure we protect lives of Nigerians, and we know that we have the highest number of us actually to be youth and adolescents.
If you want to clean up the society, start from the roots. The social disequilibrium will not accommodate what you are saying, because these people are, like I told you, they believe when they take temporary relief to them. And so, is it not better you keep them quiet through this means than to allow them run amok or run berserk?
Even when it is detrimental to their health, barrister?
That what you are saying about, look, it depends on what you believe is the problem of the health here. Because the people you are talking to, they don't believe that such thing is detrimental to their health. As long as you give them temporary relief, you must provide an alternative to stop them from taking this thing. That's the truth.
All right.
Yes, because like I told you, some of them take it to energize them in doing their hard work daily, especially these keke and Okada drivers. They can't move without it in the morning. That's why they think thrive in the motor park. That's the truth.
Imagine driving or riding a public vehicle under the influence of alcohol. That is also danger, speaking on its own, danger on the highway.
Yeah, they should.
Because, you know, we know it's against the law, being under the influence while driving or even anything.
Exactly. What I'm saying here is that let them go to the motor park.
All right.
And yes, and sensitize them. Don't just ban it, because it may not be completely banned, especially in those places where the business thrive. Except you go there with a very good propaganda, so to say, so that it will now get into their mental reasoning. If you don't educate them, they won't even know. They'll say you are talking to yourself. This thing I've been taking for 20 years. This thing that my father has been taking. You know, they will give you 1,001 reasons. So, except you go and, you know, convince them, it will not stop. Seriously, it will not.
Barrister, I think in the morning while we discussed this, you know, you weren't around. So let's bring it back. There was a video that surfaced on the social media yesterday about an altercation between the Minister of FCT, Nnpcl, and a particular naval officer, you know, over a dispute over land and all that. We have stories. First, I would like to get your opinion on that video, what happened, what transpired, the choice of words used by the minister, you know, and the attitude or response given by this particular officer of, I'm talking about the naval officer also who was there. And we also saw, let's say, a response coming from Larry Olayinka, who happens to be the senior special assistant to the FCT Minister Nnpcl, addressing Nigerians and talking about the clash that happened yesterday, saying that the former chief of naval staff, retired Vice Admiral Awal Zubairu Gambo, was scammed over the property that led to that particular confrontation. What do you have to say about that? Because it's more like, of course, will I say raped at this point in time, because in one breath or in another breath also, Brutai have come up to warn the FCT Minister Nnpcl about the attack or the threat and the choice of word he used while talking to that officer yesterday.
Now, when it comes to land matter, you don't take unilateral decision outside the court. You don't. If there is such an infraction over that land, the best place to settle it is in court. You cannot come out and tell us that somebody was scammed and all that. Are you the person? It's the person that was scammed that will come out and tell us that he was scammed. And the only way to determine is in court. Why didn't Wike take this matter to court? So that those that scammed and the person that they scammed will all appear in court. And then the court will look at the issues involved and come out with a decision. Whether the man will be compensated or it will be reimbursed or something like that. But for you to unilaterally enter into the land and say this or that will not happen. Meanwhile, you are telling me that the man was scammed. How did you know? Did the man come out and tell you that he was scammed?
According to what Olayinka said, he said that that particular land was allocated to a company. You know, but at this point in time, it ended up in the hands of a former naval officer, which, according to what Olayinka also is pointing out, they are trying to convert it for commercial use against its original delegation. Recall that some people were of the opinion that that land is being used as a park, you know, for commercial vehicle loading and all that. And Wike decided to, you know, do the needful by returning it back to its original destination.
What we are hearing now, it means that that matter will end up in court, so that all the parties will come and state their position. Yes, the land that was allocated for commercial use or for some people, how do they now, you know, sell it to another person? Who gave them the order? How much was involved here? These are issues that must be thrashed out in court. And you now come in as the FCT minister and decided on your own to take decision on the matter. It's wrong.
Now, what do you make of the words said by?
Very, very bad. It shows that Wike is not well tutored. You know.
How can you say he's not well tutored, barrister?
No,
he's a legal practitioner.
Oh, please.
These are the people that we expect actually to know how to use
Where did they practice?
He's a lawyer to start
Where did they practice? Fina.
You mean after going to school for 5 years, passing the law school and every other thing, and he was also made member of the, I think, indefinite member of the
body of benchers, live bencher.
So live bencher at this point. So doesn't that speak to his personality?
Leave title. Leave title and look at the real issue. Anybody can collect whatever title. It doesn't make you an expert. The way he has behaved so far, some of us are very, very ashamed. I'm not joking. Very, very ashamed. You called him a legal person. Where did they practice? This man that started from a local government chairman. I think he started with motor park, whatever, chairman, collecting receipt and all that, to local government chairman and all that. Is that not what happened? Did you hear that he practiced anywhere in River State? That's the issue here. A well-tutored lawyer cannot behave like this or talk like this. No, it's not possible. In fact, I'm even I sympathize with the wife, because the appeal court judge, who happened to be his wife, must be, I don't think he's very, very happy. I don't think she should be, because she should be asking herself, how did I end up with this kind of person? Because that profession is a decent profession. Decent profession. You don't talk like a motorbike tout. No matter what happened, you have the opportunity of taking this matter to court, and use the court process to obtain a judgment, either for or against. By the time you are coming to that place, you'll be wording the court judgment and telling everybody that this is so. At that point, nobody will even talk to you. Barrister,
let's square what the former Chief of Army Staff, Tukur Buratai, said. He described that particular incident that happened yesterday as a threat to national security and called for swift action, you know, saying that the minister's verbal assault on military officer undermines the chain of command and also, in a way, weakens the morale of the troops. Do you also share a lot of thoughts? And if that actually is to continue, what are we going to expect in the nearest future?
In fact, the naval officer should be promoted. He demonstrated the ethics of his profession. He demonstrated the lessons he got in his profession. He showed what it means to be in that profession, not deferring to any political intimidation or whatever. He showed that he's a well-grounded naval officer. And so, every other person should take a cue. This is how you should behave. Your first allegiance is to your profession and your commanding officer, not to any other person. That's the truth. That's why I sympathize with all these policemen who are carrying bag for politicians' wife and their children. Yeah? A police officer protecting a thug, a political thug. This is an insult. I don't think you can find any military man or naval man doing this kind of. It can never happen. But politicians police are doing it routinely. I remember during the last election, some policemen were standing behind Nnpcl while he was carrying boxes and destroying polling units and all that. Policemen were there behind him, guarding him. And when they asked him, he said, what can we do? We don't have any weapon or not. We don't, a very lame excuse. That's why you are standing behind a thug who is causing electoral infraction, and you call yourself a policeman. This is why the police don't have any respect, seriously. They have reduced themselves to nothing. No army or naval officer will descend so low. So in fact, the whole world is celebrating that naval officer. He deserves all the accolades. His organs should promote him. He represented them very, very well, because his first allegiance is to the commander-in-chief, then to his own direct commander, commanding officer. Apart from that, no other person, because he belonged to a military tradition where obeying the last order is respected. The man was telling him, look, I was sent to do something here. I was sent here. I am on a mission here. My Oga commanded me to come here. So what are you saying? I should now leave my Oga and follow your own, Abi? That means he has lost his job. Oh. That's the truth.
All right, Barrister, thank you so much. I would like to get your opinion in 1 minute, over the promise made by the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Wayidi Shoibu, assuring Nigerians that improved security nationwide is the next goal. Because I don't know if you are aware of the fact that 6 members of the Defense Directorate, they were traveling to Abuja from Lagos for their promotion exam, and they were kidnapped somewhere in Kogi State. The people of Katsina State, a particular local government, also blocked the Kanu-Katsina highway, protesting incessant killing and all that. In Kaduna the other day, we also heard about how a particular village also was attacked and all. So help us actually what makes sense of
nothing.
And are we seeing all the statements coming up just for people to delay or divide the attention of the president of USA, I'm talking about Trump, over the statement he made about coming into Nigeria to kill or to take out or exterminate the extremist jihadists operating on the soil of Nigeria?
That meeting was held between him and the president. Is that not true? Other things that we had discussed, they didn't tell us. Look, you don't need to hold any meeting with anybody in a matter like this. The order should be in an open press release. That is order. You don't need to hold any meeting. As a matter of fact, Fina, I don't believe he's going to do anything. Do you know why? Because we have passed through this road before, even under Buhari. How many order was given, yet no result? Tell me, under Buhari, how many order was given, marching order, yet no result? So in this case, the only time I will believe these people or listen to them is when they go and dislodge those people in Benue and Plateau villages. Okay. And then the people of those villages return to their villages, return to their farm, and begin to go to their farm. That's the only thing I will listen. If this was not done, then forget it. They are not ready to do anything.
So does it mean if they didn't do that, we should respect the gone brazen statement made by Donald Trump at this point in time? And maybe in 30 seconds, there's a rebuttal coming from Sheikh Ahmed Gumi that he went to Turkey on a special visit. Nothing has to do with fleeing the nation over Trump's statement.
Even if he flee to Turkey, it will be easy to get him. America will easily get him, but they are not looking for him. I don't know why he's running away or whatever. What did he go to do to Turkey? Why didn't he travel to America?
Personal business, if you ask me.
Are you serious? When did he become an international businessman?
Thank you so much.
The only business Sheikh Gumi does is this bandit that he protects.
Barrister,
that's the only business.
Thank you, Barrister.
It does so if they do not dislodge them, then what other effort have they made?
All right, we're pressed for time, and this is how far we can go. You know, the media news analysis is also important to note that the opinion shared on this table by analysts is solely our analyst own and has nothing to do with Voice of the People television. You're watching the media news on Voice of the People TV. We'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, the rest of the news continues.